Hello, everybody. We're here with the Tokyo FinTech podcast. This is episode number 10, so it's a small anniversary, and we're very excited to spend some time with Sopnendu Mohanty, who's the Chief FinTech Officer at the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Singapore is a fantastic story, so successful in driving innovation in all of ASEAN, really. For the last 12 months, what are your personal highlights from the journey?
Last 12 months, we are now seeing a convergence of all the stuff we started 4 years back. We had started our policy refining journey where we looked at different ways to make our policy effective. We are seeing that effect now. As an example, the API policies we chose, now every bank publishes hundreds of APIs as a way to do business. We also focused on building platforms which will bring people together through collaborations, through connections, make the process of finance much more simpler. Good examples will be the way we looked at payment as a platform, and we put a platform called Pay Now, which now has millions of transactions going through that platform at zero cost. People are transferring money to each other. We also build a platform for people to innovate together called API Exchange. That's a platform which transcends beyond Singapore. It goes across ASEAN, India, Middle East, which allows fintechs from different parts of the world to collaborate with the banks to do digitization faster. So we see that platform growth now visible last 12 months. And the last piece is the consumer behavior. Consumers are far more digital savvy, they're far more digital literate, they are adopting fintech and the fintech way of doing things better, more educated, more conscious about what is all about digital literacy, how to protect themselves from cyber, which is a good sign. The industry is moving in a very safe and secure way.
I think the last time I checked, I counted 42 payment applications in Singapore. And obviously, as a regulator, you're not taking sides. You just need to provide a free and competitive marketplace. But 42 seems a lot for anybody to keep track of and to try out even. Where do you see kind of that part of the industry going in the future?
Yeah, I think if you take number 42, it looks like a big number. But you have to think a different way in this whole new world of financial services. What used to be a single payment regulation is now going to be a 7 small modular regulation. And if I take this 42 and apply against the new regulatory framework, they don't seem to be a lot, because each of them will be regulated for a certain piece of thing they're doing. And maybe, I don't know the 42 you're referring to in an abstract way, but I can imagine that each of this fintech in the payment space are solving a piece of the puzzle. They're solving a piece of the payment ecosystem and making it better. Now, each of them must be there to enhance the value. So 42 is not a large number in the current lens of financial services, which is unbundling of different parts of the puzzle and making it better. So maybe 42 represents each of the part.
Okay. And so you also have virtual banking licenses
coming.
Now
Yes, absolutely. So that's another big thing. The virtual bank license is designed around supporting the new way of running banks completely on cloud, on platform. So that's what the license is all about, is to look at how banks can or anybody can apply a new way of banking using digital platforms, using new technology, way to serve consumers in a different way.
Thank you. And so you obviously spent some time in Japan as well earlier in your career. And when you compare the journey that you described, also in the change in consumer behavior becoming more digital, and you're visiting Japan now again, what is your perception of the Japanese market at this point, and what's your advice to the Japanese regulators and economy in order to drive innovation in this market as well?
I think Japanese regulators are also doing a very interesting work in this space. Means the whole blockchain piece, Tokyo has been a market leader in some sense, the way they have grown that market. And there are a lot of learnings coming out of Tokyo on the whole world of crypto and blockchain. We're also seeing a lot of learnings from Japan on use of AI and technology, how to mine data better. So a lot of those learnings coming from Tokyo market. The regulators here have put together very forward-looking thought process around payment systems. And there's an experiment run by Bank of Japan on the whole DLT platform-based payment, the Stellar project, we call it. So I think the regulators and the ecosystems are in the right direction. Can we do more? Yes, of course we can do more. I think more comes from not doing more inside to Japan, but more collaborating. I think what you will see more and more, Japan is collaborating with other market to build a different kind of cross-border products and services.
Of course, and we have a bridge between
Yes,
Singapore and Tokyo.
So
that
Tokyo,
is
of course.
What is the opportunity for the regulators themselves with like SupTech as like innovation and making everything more real time and seamless as well?
The SupTech, RegTech is perhaps one of the most exciting space when it comes to the world of fintech. As you know, you speak to any bank, bulk of their budget is allocated to compliance related changes. That's what they spend more money. Can RegTech, SupTech solution come and unbundle these issues and build a cheaper, faster, and better solution? And that's a huge market. If I say I can be with a long or the big error margin, if I say between 50 to 60% of IT budget is allocated to regulatory changes, and if that globally translates to, let's say, roughly $300 billion, it's a $500 billion increment tech spend, $300 billion of money is out there to be given to a smart RegTech and SupTech company to do things better. So that's the market of opportunity. And that's where I think is the opportunity. So it's a $300 to $400 billion market, and some estimate can go in trillions, but I think that's a safe way to see how to frame the RegTech, SupTech market.
I think I've seen BIS even was looking for an innovation officer now. So.
Yes, yeah.
Obviously, the next Singapore FinTech Festival is coming up soon, and you had incredible number of attendants last year. What can we expect this year? What will be the highlights, and how much attendance do you expect?
I mean, we don't predict our attendance, but people do love what they're seeing there. We expect definitely a much more bigger attendance this year, in high 60s. But that's not the big part. I think the big part is the festival brings different ideas, different set of ecosystem together. And it is a celebration of ideas, successes, failures, lesson learned throughout the year. And that's November is a great time to discuss before you go on a vacation or a year-end leave, to talk all the learnings. And I think being on November helps, being a global platform helps, being a country which encourages global thoughts to be shared and helps. I think that's what FinTech Festival is all about. It brings a whole set of ecosystem together in a collaborative way with no particular bias or agenda to pursue.
Understood. And at the same time, I also think the deal numbers were incredible last year, bringing together investors, venture capital, private equity.
There'll be watch out for a number. We're going to pass soon. Some number is coming out. We have a record investment in Singapore this year on the fintech space. I don't want to go ahead of the numbers I'm going to see, but there are interesting numbers coming to signify how things have moved in Singapore.
All right. So if you haven't booked your ticket yet, Singapore is
please
the
go and
destination.
Book your ticket within 4th of October. We have offered a special discount, stay, travel, and conference. Be there and enjoy.
Wonderful. Last question, let's talk a few minutes about APIX and the ASEAN Financial Innovation Network, which you've also personally driven, I believe, to a very large extent. That was announced last year at the Singapore FinTech Festival, and obviously the teams have been working on. Explain a little bit more what it will provide.
APIX is called AP Exchange. It is a platform which allows, in a very simplest way, banks to innovate faster, cheaper, safer. In fact, we promise we can deliver the whole innovation lab expenses at 5% of that expense. If you're spending $1 million, I can deliver that in a 5% of cost. That's the number, if you're looking for a number. In terms of impact, your ability to scout and search fintechs around the world is at your desktop. You can, on the PC, look at the global fintechs right from your computer. Third, if you want to test their APIs, you don't do much thing. You can go and test the APIs right off the platform. If you want to bring your bank systems and their fintech APIs and cook a product, just a prototype, without connecting to the banking system, we have provided that functionality. Imagine all this A, B, C, D being done within a physical world in an innovation center. It will take 3 years and a lot of money. With cheaper, faster, less cost, highly efficient, you can build prototype, make the commercial choice, and rapidly digitize. And that's what APIX is trying to solve. Discover, design, and deploy fintechs, new ideas at a fraction of a cost and a fraction of a time.
and make it accessible to
Absolutely.
the smaller and medium-sized banks.
And also large bank. Large bank can also use this as a filter to bring fintechs which they want to work with. So it is actually more platform which serves large and small bank equally well for maybe different reasons, but for common purpose is to digitize their own platform faster.
Very last question comes to mind. There's lots of people who are talking about decentralized finance and working on it. Obviously, there's a bit the objective in that to not have a home, right? To be not under a specific jurisdiction. What's your thought around like decentralized exchanges, decentralized finance at all? What will it require from the regulatory side to actually still protect the retail investor?
I think it's quite evolving. I presume you're talking about the whole space of decentralized exchanges, decentralized asset token. My sense is that it is too early. There'll be experiments where, especially on the private capital space, you will find an application for creating a market, but it's too early stage. I think one thing regulators be assured, they will not negotiate on three things. They'll not negotiate on consumer protection. That's not something going to be given away. They're not going to negotiate on AML and CFT. That's something go to their system and they're going to protect. And the third is they will ensure that there is a level playing field and there's a fairness and there's a trust in the system and it is not affecting the financial stability. So financial stability, KYC and AML, CFT standards, consumer protection, the three things will drive the regulators' interest in ensuring there's a fairness and there's a stability in this space. While innovation being encouraged, I don't think it will be designed to be a massive failure.
Makes total sense, and I think it's crystal clear.
Okay.
So, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank
I know
you.
it's a very busy schedule, and
Thank you.
Enjoy your time
Thank you.
in Tokyo. Thanks very much.
Thank you.